Hi, in this video we'll be talking about the basic locations where we can define a SAML application integration with your Okta developer account. So let's just log into the Okta developer account which we created in the very first video in this particular session. So click on sign in. So you will see basic developer console which you can utilize to perform different kind of settings. You can associate your users, you can create your applications or integrations over here, and you can define the API customization and the customization of the appearance of your Okta environment. So this is the basic developer console. We can switch to the classic UI for this particular example. Switch to the classic UI. Once we switch in the classic UI, you can see the shortcuts available over here. Click on Add Applications. Once you click on Add Applications, you can see a list of applications that can be created uh, with as a integration within your Okta. Okay, so let's just click on Create a new app. So once you click on Create a new app, you need to select a platform over here. Which kind of platform you're utilizing? It's a web platform, and the sign-on method which we are going to use over here is SAML 2.0. We'll select SAML 2.0 for a SAML integration. If you click on create, you will see the location, this particular location where you need to provide the application information over here. So let's just click on application name. This is very first application. Click on test SAML 1. You can also define an application logo which will be shown to the users in their dashboard, and they will identify which kind of particular kind of application they are logging into. You can also upload the logo from your local machine. We can select the app visibility. So we want to display the application icon to the user or not, or whether or not in an Okta mobile app you want to display this particular app or not. Just click on next, and here you need to provide certain configuration SAML settings. So here you need to provide a single sign-on URL. So this particular URL will be the URL for your service provider. The service provider will provide this particular URL to you whenever you are making the trust establishment. We will have a demo for this as well. After that, the audience URI is the unique identifier of that particular uh, service provider. So the service provider will also have a identifier because we can connect multiple service provider in our Okta identity provider, and so to uniquely identify that particular service provider we have to provide this audience URI. Basically it is the SP entity ID. Then the default relay state. The relay state is required in it's optional, and it is not required in a SP initiated workflow. So relay state can be provided if we are initiating an IDP initiated instance. So in that case, IDP initiated SAML flow will send the SAML assertion. The relay state will determine once the authentication is done, at which particular landing page the user will go to once the authentication is complete. Also, the name ID format is basically about the user information which you are sending to your service provider. So here the name ID format will define what kind of information about that particular identity you are sending, whether it is a unique identifier or it is an email address or anything else. So the explanation of name ID format will come in later sessions where we'll be talking about SAML a lot. So there we'll define what specific name ID format is. The application username will be the specific Okta username you can use, and or the prefix of email or the specific email basically tells about the identity only. And you can also define the attribute statements which you want to send to the service provider in addition. So the first assertion will only contain the identity information like the identity ID or the identity email address. The optional attribute statements will be the information about the identity, which will contain the details about the identity, like the first name, the last name, the mail address, or the telephone number that if it is required by the service provider. It can also send the group attribute of the user as well, like what groups the user is part of, so that your service provider can take decisions on base of that. Once you provide these information, you can also preview your SAML assertion, and once it is done, you can save your SAML application. This is a two-way configuration because you will require a service provider to configure with a SAML integration. So we'll have a demo where we will actually connect to a service provider in the later sessions and define the configuration between your identity provider and the service provider. Thanks a lot, guys. That's all for this video. See you next.